Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Around the Game on Deep End Sports. And tonight, I'm with a beautiful piece, Nakirijja, aka Little Piece, right?
Little piece.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you very
How
much.
are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Cold, but
Yeah. So, tell us why and how did you begin playing basketball?
I started playing basketball in my form too. That's around 2005. I was studying from Eagle's Nest, and a year before that, when we were in Form 1, we used to walk around the courts. You look at these cool people stepping out on court, and I think I fell in love with the game. It was like love at first sight. But in Form 2 is when I actually went out there and, decided to make a decision to actually step on court and bounce the ball around and, fall into the school team, because there was room to join the team because most of the big girls were around, were leaving for, they had searched for S4, so we're not sure if they were going to come back in Form 5. And then, yeah, there was space, there was room for people, new people to join the team, and yeah,
Okay.
that's how I ended up joining and loving the game. It was cool basically. Everyone knows basketballers are cool people.
Okay, so were there any people in school who pushed you to begin playing?
The captain, I would say that by that time, it hits different when it's a woman, encouraging a fellow woman. When you see guys playing, a game looks so hard. Will I be able to handle this?
Okay.
And then you see a woman actually, doing the actual game. So the ladies captain, by then she was Mekenisa Jaslyn. And then there was the lots of Dora Namoga, Nansovia Judith, aka Ayo. Yeah, that was the lot of the big girls. So Jaslyn was like, you're always around court, you should just get shoes and come and play with us. And I feel like the whole of my S1 I was laid back because no one made that step to make me feel invited, and she did that. So I think she was one of the big contributors to why I stepped into to play the game.
So you've not told us the school you were in.
I said Eagles
Eagles Nest.
Yeah.
So tell us about Eagles Nest. Like, did they have a basketball coach? Did they have a basketball coach? Was it tarmac balls? You know how schools are; they don't really support basketball, maybe soccer.
Okay, yeah. First of all, we had two basketball courts. The school was so sports oriented in the sense of basketball. In that, when I joined the school, I first tried out netball. We tried out soccer. We tried out almost everything. I was one of those people whose report cards always had very playful instead of good girl. So I sort of like had to engage myself in sport. I loved sport. I was surrounded with a group of, my neighbors were guys on top of me having sisters, but my brothers were like, so we're always playing. So when I got to the school, the first thing I was looking out to, what can I do with my time when I'm not in class? And basketball showed up, but the equipment, maybe balls. I think naturally every school has been struggling in that direction of just not only balls but good basketballs. And when you're a bit younger, you need like a size 6, so that it can give you hope that you can do this. But we really had size 7s and those sprite balls that were very poor quality by that time. But for some reason, it was a ball. So in terms of equipment, we had courts, they were tarmacked. Maybe the fact that not very many people my age wanted to play, because most girls, like, you're in a class and everyone is looking at you weird because you've chosen to enroll in this sport. They prefer to make up, to walk around the place, look like flowers, which are good to look at, by the way, but in that sense it didn't make sense to me because I just wanted to be out there and sweating. Yeah.
So tell us about like your parents' influence towards you playing basketball. Because I believe most parents would not want to see you play basketball in high school. They think whenever you go to school, it's about books only.
Okay. First of all, my dad was supportive. but not financially. He kept on telling me, those guys who want you have to,
You have to
inject
provide.
anything in you, something in you. But I felt like, who is going to put money in rookie me?
Yeah.
I wasn't even rookie, I didn't know anything. So during that time, I think my mom was totally against it, because most of the times when a child is into something, moms play a very big role in driving it for them. If you want this and maybe daddy is not doing this, mommy throws in something. My mom thought basketball is for unserious people. My mom felt basketball is for spoiled guys, the drunkards, the ones who smoke. Every wrong thing my mom felt, and she thought I had chosen a wrong path, in the sense of choosing a sport. Like, do anything else,
Yeah.
go play netball,
But not basketball.
go play something. Like, that game is for spoiled people. So I don't think it was encouraging, because at when I was in S3, my dad changed schools and I ended up going to Megado College. And I did my S4 from there, I did my S5 from there, and S6. But I was moved in the sense that I was spending most of the time on the court. But then when I went the other side, I ended up, because Eagles Nest had a lot of talent. We had people like Francis, Xavier, we had people like Omo, who was in veg by then. The struggle is how to pull through and keep a superstar in the league. But some of these boys played very good basketball in high school. Jeff Mwaniki, who is in KPA now. There was a group of people who were really playing with very good basketball. And you could just find someone you want to nurture your game from, which was beautiful. And when I went the other side, it was more of, everyone is looking up to you. You have to shoot the ball. You have to dribble the ball.
Yeah.
You have to be the one, to make ends meet in terms of productivity. If you're off, the team is off.
Yeah.
If you're on, we are winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course there is always support cast. I cannot belittle that, of the people who actually understand the game, who keep
Yeah.
you going. Because in high school, really, ladies basketball, you find that not everyone is up to the task of putting in the work. Because you might find so many people who are like, I want to play and this, but then they want to do the other things. They want to go into the dancing groups. In Megado we had GGW. They want to be into the singing groups. They want to be into anything. And here you are, who is basketball minded. Everything you want to do is bouncing the ball. So I feel like, at that stage, when they changed schools, they still failed, because the whole point was for me to cool down the love that I had. Eventually, it sort of like placed me into focusing academically, because I ended up, the school wasn't participating in so many tournaments as Eagles Nest was. Eagles Nest was hosting under 16, under 14. We were playing every East African Cups, Buganda Cup. Luvili was right behind us. And yeah, that's where it changed. But with time, when scholarships started falling in, the game started bringing in so many things, they sort of saw the good thing about playing sport. They saw the beauty the game was bringing into my life. It was giving me purpose. They didn't have to sit down and tell me ABCD, be careful, do this, because I'm always on code. So yeah, and eventually they ended up loving the game. Yeah.
Okay. So you have 6 championships. That means you've had quite the journey in the league. Tell us about your basketball history, the teams you've been to, and everything.
When I was in my form 6, I got to join the Lady Bucks, but I used to play in holiday. That was two. I used to play in holiday, and then when I go to S6 vacation, I still stayed with them while hoping for scholarships, hoping you excel academically and you can join some university. So of course, according to my parents, they were focused on how does she get to Makerere, because it's closer to home. They don't want me to get into hostel. But then UCU shows up for me. I join UCU, and scholarship shows up. So I ended up having to move all the way to Mukono, and I joined the Lady Cannons, the UCU Lady Cannons. After that, I was with them for 4 years during my school, and then I joined JKL Lady Dolphins for 5 seasons. That's 2015 to 2019. Then led Duhaga, my current team. I was with it for 2 months before the lockdown. Yeah, so I'm in Duhaga right now.
Okay.
Reno Duhaga.
Renoe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a six-time champion. Which one was the sweetest or the hardest? I don't know what to use, but the one you like think about and it was really memorable.
I will start with the most recent, which was the Zone 5 Championship in Tanzania, where we got to play. I think that was the first time Uganda ever got there. It was quite sweet. In the sense of the struggle and the journey. JKL dreamt, the manager dreamt from 2015. He was hoping to, get to that, to the top someday in the sense of East Africa, and it happens. And I was one of the pioneers of the team, and I've been there all this long, and seeing it come to pass, whether some things didn't go my way, I was just happy to see it give birth, like the whole dream and it coming there. And the first time we are in Zone 5 as a unit, we come out as victors. Then I'd say the other sweet championship was my first championship in 2011. um, that was my rookie year with the Lady Cannons. It was really challenging because I got there knowing I know basketball. And knowing that I know basketball, I get to a squad which has been through under 18. I think Angela Namirimo joined the national team at 18. You find all these calibers. Momo has just got MVP 2010. You find Bonnie Brenda, we used to call her Boda Boda, who has won all these things. She won with the Lady Bucks. She's now with the Lady Cannons, and these were the senior players. You find Akinyi Lorraine, top scorer 2010, and she had her good basketball. Purity Odhiambo, who was one of the all-round still in East Africa, one of the best bigs I think that East Africa has created. You find Kirunji Ruth, you find all these sorts of people who were surrounded in the organization. And me being part of this unit and fighting so hard in the sense of minutes. Minutes was important because we even had Lynn Nalunguma before she left for India. And at her worst game, she had 15 points. That was a bad game for Lynn, right? How good game, I won't get into it. But you find that all this unit that was, having all these productive players, being part of them and at their prime. Yeah, we're not even talking about when they are selling right now, Angela. By that time, all these guys are feeling it. They are a young team, and I feel like that championship that year, we were versing Flavia Okecho in KCCA. There was Martha Soigi. There was Sima Monica. These girls were doing their thing. And there was Becky, left hand Becky with the left. And if you've never versed that KCCA team that was of then, I don't know. That was something. I really like the championship. We got a sweep. We were almost unbeaten the whole year. By almost, I mean we lost one game to KCCA at a time when our coach had left. So we had someone step in. The coach made it sink in. He did not lose the whole year. The help lost. Anyways, we did so well that whole year. And the fact that it was my first season with them, the process of coming from not being anybody to people asking, who is that girl? Who is that girl? I felt like it gave me purpose. And that I always wanted to play with hungry people who have the same level of hunger to win like you. So I really loved that championship because we went all the way. After that, we just went for inter-university games to chill, and we had a few of those inter-university championships too. So yeah.
So you've talked about playing with the likes of Purity, Lorraine, Brenda, Momo, Angela. How influential are these girls towards your improvement in UCUR? Like you settling in, which girls really pushed you?
There were two kinds of pushing. There was a push of a make you feel so bad about yourself, you want to work hard.
Yeah.
And there was the kind of push whereby even on your sucky days, they got you, you know. I remember having some really bad when I was developing my shooting as a player, and maybe trying to find a systematic way to play because I went with a disorganized game. The ladies gave me a nickname. I will not tell you that nickname. But I went with like there's I was so hungry. My game has always come from a nature of hunger. I was so hungry, you know, and that's why it was always easier for me to find my identity from a defensive perspective of she's a defensive player. But out of my hunger, the ladies that were there were as hungry, and it sort of like made me feel like I'm in the right place. So these guys basically, I'd want to give a shout out to Lynn. Lynn reminded me that hey, peace, you're
It's
new
Lynn.
on
There are two Lynns.
Lynn Nalunkum, Irene.
Yeah.
She's called Irene. She told me, look here, you're not Maureen, you're not Angela,
You're
you're not me, you're not Purity. Yeah. When you come over here, you're going to see some people chill. You know, you'll see Angela walking to class. These guys have made their names. No one knows you. No one knows who you are, and you have to earn it. But most importantly, you have to understand how what brings out the best out of your game. Is it out of just having team practice, or do you have to put a little extra? I always also give this advice to my kids, because when you understand how you have earned the game, it's important to keep it that way. If it has been out of hard work, keep working hard. If it because the people have pure talent. Amoding Maureen is pure talent. Yeah. She wakes up from bed and you know she's having 30 points. And that might not be you. She made that sink in, and you know, and knowing, getting this advice for my first time in the university, getting into there, it helped me not get defocused from what my goal was. And I think 2012 was my best season ever. I don't think I've had a basketball career like 2012. I remember just looking at the hoop and you know wanting the basket there with my poor shooting form, and you know the basketball just drops in, you know. And I felt like I was having a good support cast. Now the support cast was that even when the shot did not drop in the first time, the second time, the third time, they're like, Mama, you got this. You know, like the beauty of knowing you can't feel bad about it, you just keep grinding. And I feel like that's like, and I think it's UCU as the system it has. They find what you're good at and they nurture it. It's a very nice system. I really would want to be part of such a system with other like organizations someday, or see them get to light, whereby you look at a player like Big Peace Proskovia. She was very big. Any coach will tell her score the ball, but the coaches then were telling her pick that rebound like your life depends on it. And you know the basket is the bonus. Do you understand what I mean? So the pressure to her is to get the rebound, but she'll get it comfortably because she's tall, she's energetic, she's always in the right positions to pick the rebound. And then the basket, knowing that that is the bonus, she won't sulk if she leaves with no point. She did her what? Her role. That was the rebounding, and I feel like most of us had that around us. And yeah, most of the guys on the team understood that and kept passing it on generation to generation.
Okay, so tell us about the UCU sports program. I know you're not one of the managers of the UCU team, but at least people would love to know about it. Like, I think it has given a lot of people opportunity. So I don't know if you can tell us something about it.
UCU, being there for 4 years, obviously it will always be home. First of all, the program is really based on more to do with the organization than you as a player. In other words, discipline comes first, which I feel like most of the other organizations say in the league today, even other universities bend the rule of discipline. For instance, I can go for practice every day for a week, and then maybe the superstar player doesn't show up. But when she comes on game day, the superstar player will play. Now you see, you didn't give a damn how good you are a player. If you don't practice, you don't play. If you don't communicate 8 hours before practice, and I mean it 8 hours because most of our practices were in the night. So if you wake up in the morning, coach says, hey, look here, you know you're not making practice. By the time you get to bed or by the time you wake up, you have a program drawn. The moment you communicate 4 hours to practice, or very coach, something came up, you're not playing the next game. But if you miss practice, you want to play the next game after the next, right? So 2 games, you're out of the picture. So I feel like at that stage of hunger, I would say most of the players who come from high school have this hunger to play, and I feel like that has also been a plus in you having these young, hungry. They have a very good scouting selection. They get the ones who are hungry and the ones who are going to fit in a certain role. It is not just about recruiting, it's about what is the missing link, what piece is missing to be filled into this. And you find that most of them, when you have all this unit gathered, and then you hear someone saying, I'm not coming for practice, but you want special unit because special treatment because yes, star. That's why they never bent the rule, and I think like that's really important in when you talk about organizations and discipline. And the discipline went way beyond just the game on court, but respect for oneself, respect for the coaches, and academics. We had to give in our results every end of semester
To this.
to the Dosas by then, who was Dale Scully, and then I think Cornell joined, stepped in after that. Most of these guys really were academic oriented. They don't pay for retakes, but you have to take both basketball and school and school as serious. And then you find that because they have facilitation of like facilities of like the gym, 3 basketball courts like that, you can't belittle that. That means there is always someone on court. If someone is this side, you're this other side. You can't be like, hey, I don't have a court to train from. There are 3. And then the balls we have, they I think they do shopping for a whole season. So there's always basketballs. There are always people ready to help, the coaching staff, the fitness staff, the coaching staff in the gym, the coaches on court, and most importantly, which I do not want to belittle, I think it's very important, timekeeping. If practice was 2 hours, practice was 2 hours. The coaches were always on time for practice. And if you look around the league right now, both boys and girls, you find that most of the times, both the ladies and the men always are the first at practice sessions. I don't know if you've had chance to to be with a UCU player on your team, and you kind of see the work ethic these people display. They're always on time, and I think that was also a key factor to improvement in the game at large.
Okay, so who are some of those coaches you went through in HCC?
My first coach, I found Coach Mande Juruni, who was there for about a month and left to the Warriors. So I'm not sure if that counts.
It does, of course.
But Coach Dale coached us for a season. He was a white coach. I don't know if you remember Coach Dale Scully. He was screaming a lot on the sideline. Yeah. Coach Dale was, I think, my biggest change in basketball, because in 2012, when I'm having a blast, I was ripping from what I learned in 2011. And I say, you take care of the small things, as he said, take care of the small things and the big things will sort themselves out. You have control over showing up for practice. You have control over certain things, but there are things you don't have control over. So can you take care of the things you have control over? So he was really a big factor in the sense of he really showed us love beyond the game. He cared about each and every one of us equally. Dale could text you, hey little piece, good game yesterday. Even when you feel like, that game was smelly.
Yeah.
and then he could, call you up and, tell you, can you come to my office today? And you just have a chat with a person. So how are you finding your stay with the team in UCU? And I feel like that was very important because, they always say, girl, when you're coaching girls, you coach emotions.
Yeah.
But it's very good to, be on the same page with a player.
Yeah.
So that when you're out there, you're not enemies. They have to know that whatever you're doing comes from a good place. And he really had made sure he has a personal relationship with, because he didn't do just that for me. He did that for everyone on the team. And we had game nights, we had popcorn nights, we had movie nights. You could have those things. He kept on engaging us in. Of it's Friday, if you guys are around, come to my home. And then, most importantly, when I want to talk about the game of basketball, I think he's the first person who told me I could point the ball. I didn't know that yet because my whole career in UC, I was on the wing.
You're a shooter.
Yeah, I was on the wing, and then he sort of had games he used to let me point. I think there were about 3 to 4 games, and I think in high school, when we point the ball most of the times, it's more because there is no one else to do it.
Yeah.
But in the league, it's different because everyone specializes. So he gave me the go ahead to do that. He helped me evolve. He put my energy in the right places because, as I said, I had a nickname which I will not share. I had a nickname, so he helped me place my energies in the right places. This is when you do this. This is when, and I used to love stealing the ball. He got that habit out. Like, he really tried to make me have a systematic way to play. And most importantly, I think he cared about growth, individual and team growth. And he always placed the team before individuals, and he made that clear. I remember Lynn one day leaving, telling us she's going to leave the team and go to India, and she was our best scorer. And he's like, guys, everyone is replaceable in this team. Little piece can step up. This one can do this. Like, just knowing that a coach trusts you that much was something, yeah. And then we had, after he left, we had Coach Oxy Boniface. I do not know. Many people have different opinions about him, but of course, I'm talking about what he did or who he was to me. Coach Oxy. Well, we had our bad places and good times, but he has a strength of when he believes in what you can do, you will even ask for a sub and you will refuse. I want to believe when he came in, he really loved Momo's game. He really liked what. But then I think my game has come out of a lot of hard work. And with time, he started having that belief in me as a player. And ever since that, even when we joined JKL, he came to JKL, and there are times I felt like, guy, get me off. He knows I can. He actually got me to become an utility player. He got me to point. He got me to shoot. He got me to play foreman. For him, it was like, you know what, just put peace anywhere. And I always tell people this: when a coach believes in you, you feel it, you know it, and then you come to a place whereby you start doing things, and you're like, I can't let this guy down, yeah, because with all this faith. So Coach Oxy loved winning. He came to the Lady Cannons when we were winners, obviously, which made winning easy for him. But because of his mentality to want to always, win, he reached a point whereby he could be like, if you are coaching a team, Vinny can't beat me. He's made it too personal to that state. Of he starts to pin out who can't beat him because he knows the team is good, and I like the fact that we gave that to him. We made him feel good about himself as a coach too, because not everyone gets a big team and gets you a championship. Yeah, so I feel like Coach Oxy had impact because he loved to win as much as I loved to. The hunger he has on that sideline, I don't know if you've seen him coaching, he's crazy. He'd rather dress up than lose a game. Like, he's coaching a girls' team, but he'd rather get a jersey from someone. to play
Yeah.
and win. So we had Coach Oxy, we had Coach Dale, who were of very big impact in my life when I was at UCU. Yeah,
Tell us something about the UCU Coach Maestro. That's Coach Nick. He has
Coach
done it
Nick.
all. Yeah.
I found Coach Nick in UCU doing his thing, and he's still doing his thing. I don't really have a lot to say about him, but I would say one thing: he has really grown by far, because results don't lie. You see the product of people he has been coaching. He's so and I think above all, we're talking about the UCU system of what their culture, of what has kept them dominant and all this. And I think like the values Coach Nick has have sort of kept UCU on the map. He's so serious about discipline and people turning up for practice. And I feel like having a coach like him when you're developing is everything, because and I'm talking this coming out of experience, because I've been out of school, I've been out in these clubs, and I see what happens. Not everyone really gives a damn a lot about what people do. People give excuses. Today it's this, tomorrow it's this. Today I can't practice because work this. Tomorrow it's my home. Tomorrow, and for us, we are women, we have husbands in the pictures. We have so many things going on, but Coach Nick doesn't bend the rule. And I feel like most of the people might not like the way he puts up, his rules, and stays with his word. He speaks, and that is it. But I feel like it when people end up winning, they forget the way he has been even using a hard he's been using a hard stick and iron bar on them. So I feel like results don't lie. Coach Nick has grown. I mean, he's the ladies national team coach right now. He has gone till he's now FIBA something, technical director. And yeah, I would recommend him any day for whoever needs a coach. Yeah.
Okay, so after a successful spell at UCU, you joined JKL, which was also successful. Tell us about your experience at JKL.
JKL, Lady Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I joined JKL in 2015. It was a new team, clean slate, and as I said, the management had goals, passions. By then the manager of the team was the CEO of the team was Freedom Owora, who is the technical director right now. And he was so hungry to win, he made sure everyone knows that. So every day was business. And coming from a team whereby winning was a bonus, because honestly, discipline came first to UCU. Here, winning is everything. Coming from that transition, I felt like I was ready because of the traits I've come with, the hunger to win. I love winning at the same level as the manager this side, but also he was dreaming, and I wanted to be part of this dream, in the sense that everyone has been seeing Lady Cannons and KCCA in the finals from I think 2011. It was Lady Cannons and KCCA, and we want a change. Like when it comes to girls basketball, everything is so obvious, and he's like, you know what, I want a change with this. I think I'm the first lady captain of the organization before Flavia Okecho took up the honors to be captain. um so at the start of that, we sort of like were successful to win from the lower division to go to the top division. And when we went to the top, things were not as smooth as we expected, because we came in thinking the last time we played in the NBL, we were on the top. Most of us, because we're from UCU background, we thought this is going to be a walk in the park. You've left people like Imanishimwe in UCU, you've left Zaina, you've left, and you think they are fellas. These kids have been working and they're here to earn it. So we got a few likes of purity from the team, which had just beaten KCCA, because Lady Cannons won in 2015. It won in 2015. So in 2016, when we come to the league, up to the NBL, we're thinking things are going to be easy. I remember Fred Omori's recruiting people and telling them, guys, don't you want to join my superstar team? He
Yeah.
got superstars from Kenya. We had Goose. That's one. Jacob Grace. We had Angela Namirimu, who had come from what is it, Kenya. She was playing for a team in Kenya, and she had shown up. Like, we had a good unit, but the problem is this whole unit was filled up with guns, right? And now we have Purity for a big, and then we had Nora, and I think someone else. My memory, I want to go back there, but most of these guys were all hungry to win. But now everyone has come from their team as superstar. Now, McHugh, some of us were in this team in the lower division, but we're not the guys you left. Like, if Purity comes to this team,
Yeah.
we are scorers too right now. Like, we're not just defensive players, we're not just playmakers. We want these.
Yeah.
So we get into that environment whereby sometimes the ball sticks in one position for too long. Anyway, cut story short, the journey was really not as easy as we thought because we got a bump. I remember getting an injury in the playoffs, which really pulled me back. Like, I don't think I ever stepped up to be as aggressive as I was before in that sense, because now I have to be careful. But by then, anywhere the ball goes, I'm all over the place. So that season was quite sad because we lost Purity. Purity left within the season and left, and then we were left with a team full of guards. We had Salma Lompaso, who was coming in like a few games when we were playing KCC or UCU, and she goes back to Kenya, which was not helping us in terms of chemistry. We needed to be one. We didn't look a unit. We could sit down and look at all these teams. We're like, you know what? If we actually got team by team, especially that KUC, you were feeling it. And things didn't go as we planned because those guys gave us a shock. We didn't, because they beat us game one. I remember of that whole season. After we stocked everything, we had beat them in UCU Open, and then we had we joined. When we joined the league, they were our first game, but because we had beaten them, we're like, you know what, we got this. Those guys shocked us, beat us senselessly, and after, you know how kids be after they have that victory, they're jumping all over their face. That no go. Oh my god.
It was
we
crazy.
were so pissed, man. So after some time, we are like, you know what? Maybe we're not what we thought we were, because guess what? KCCA beat us the following week too,
Yeah.
because they gave us two back-to-back games, and then we won the rest. But I think Freedom at the end back of his head was just pissed because of the two games his superstars have lost. So we went into playoffs. We didn't perform so well. We managed to scoop position 3 from A1 challenge that year, but we didn't achieve. We went into the next year, 2017. We bring in Flavia Okecho. We bring in Namuaya Muhai, Mina, yeah. So we are thinking this is the year,
Yeah.
and things still didn't go our way. But then 2018, we had a change in the coaching staff, and then they brought Monday Journey. And yeah, we started seeing results. We started playing effective basketball, because I know as players we all felt that we are good. If we took any of us could take anyone in the league one on one. Any of us could do things like magically, but we had pieces that were missing. And when we added the coach and we added a few players, we added Rita on that squad. I think Rita is the only player we added on the team that year, with Nakirijja, that's Evelyn. And then we won a championship, which was our first championship in 2018. Then we added the one for 2019 back to back. Then 2019 was really dope because we got two in one, the zone 5, and then we came back and wrapped it up in the playoffs for 2019. So that was the journey there. Yeah.
Okay, you're also a basketball coach. You coach kids. What drove you to begin playing basketball, and how is the experience with the kids?
First of all, I like to I like the JKL, let me talk about JKL. JKL gave me the platform to coach.
Yeah.
Apart from just playing for them, they gave me the platform to coach through the kids academy they had. At first, it was just a kids camp,
Yeah.
which was for Keep Living on Charity Foundation. So we do kids camps, we invite kids for free, we give out shoes, we give out clothes, we do all these things because not everyone can afford to get shoes. They might want to play.
Yeah.
Not everyone can afford to get a basketball, even if they want to play, plus the coaches and stuff. So we went into having those free camps. And I attended one because I think the first camp was in 2016. Yeah, the first camp was in 2016, but I fell into this whole program in 2017. So 2017, one of so I'm like, sure. So I get into the giving back. Yeah, gave out shoes all the time. I was looking forward. I was always posting on my WhatsApp, people who want to give out shoes. I collected plenty, but most importantly, I created time to be able to give back. Now, at first, I went into in the name of I teach or I share what I know, but not more of I'm a coach. So with that platform, we ended up making an academy whereby we actually went into doing different coaching courses to be able to be empowered, to be able to give quality notes. I was having this conversation with you the other day where I was having some funny form shot and I had to change the form shot. This all started here because I realized I can't be teaching kids what I don't have. Yeah, I can't be
Makes
like
sense.
follow through, shooting hand at a ball, and you're having a different twisted thing with a left follow through. So I ended up having to adjust that through coaching. But then after we made the academy and we are empowered, we had very many guest coaches. Coach Harry from Kenya, Coach Timothy Odeke, Coach Samanya from Nabisunsa formerly. I'm not sure what he's up to right now. We had a few coaches who kept on empowering us. Coach Henry Malinga, and under their wing we grew as an academy. We kept on doing these camps every holiday, giving back. But then we started school outreaches. We go into schools, we enrich, we give out what we can, but through the mentality of body movements. We started from body movements going into other things in depth, which I don't want to talk about. But after that, I get a need to love what I was doing because every time I gave, my heart felt like it's filled. You play basketball and you come out pissed.
Yeah.
And when you're coaching, you're happy, you're giving to someone, you've enriched someone gives a nice feedback about what they have learned from you. And I'm like, you know what, I think I love this. I got a new passion. I actually got a twist because I feel I enjoy coaching now than I do playing. But when that happened, from that I through the school outreaches, Coach Onen gets me hooked up, and I joined SETA schools. Yeah, so I started with SETA main campus where I used to go a lot, do my gigs. I call them gigs. Do my gigs with the kids. Then I got the HM of SETA, Mbalala Mukono, who invited me because he needed a development coach to be there with his kids, which was nice. So after I went into that venture, I started meeting up parents, doing home outreaches and all that. Yeah, so that's how I ended up here with this passion to coach. I really love it. I love to play too. It's fun, but I love to coach too.
Okay. So, with all this successful career in coaching and basketball, who are your life inspirations?
Mayamo,
Pardon? Mayamo.
Mayamo,
That's basketball. How about life?
Mayamo.
How about life?
Mayamo. I'm
Okay.
getting there. Mayamo
Uh-huh.
is more than a game, right?
Yeah.
We've seen the things she's doing off the court. She's a church girl. She plays guitar. I play guitar. She's into Christ. I'm saved. I'm into Christ all day, any day. She's into basketball, and like what she did, walking away from the league to help out this guy who was jailed for years. That was mind blowing. Like, that's my inspiration over there. Someone who lives what they love, because not very many superstars are going to come from the league right now and say, you know what, I'm chilling play because there is someone in prison who needs my help. How many do you know?
That's crazy.
And you're at the top.
Yeah.
That was really inspiring for me, in the sense of there's more to life than just the game. We are seeing that right now. Coronavirus is in the picture. Where is the game now? Like, things go back to what matters the most, and we've seen that there's more to life than just basketball. Before we were like, basketball is life.
It's everything.
Basketball is everything. I eat
Yeah.
basketball, I sleep basketball, but surprise,
Yeah.
we are here.
So, do you have any top 5 NBA? Can I say WNBA or NBA all time?
All time.
Yeah.
I'll go to the ladies. Point guard, Lindsay Whalen. I will not say so bad.
Okay.
I'm Team Minnesota.
Yeah.
Lindsay Whalen. Point guard. Diana Taurasi, 2-man.
Yeah.
Maya Moore, 3-man. 4-man will be Candace Parker.
Okay.
5 will be Sylvia Fowles.
So the fouls.
Yeah.
Then NBL top 5.
NBL. Ladies.
Mix it up. It's okay.
Okay. Do the vets count?
Yeah, it's okay.
The vets
Like
count.
the ones who have retired and everything.
Yeah. Flavia will catch your point, right? My 2-man.
No friendships.
My 2-man would have probably, I have a competition between which person to mention, but I really would have wanted to throw Brenda Mbone somewhere, who retired. She really inspired me, because the way she views the game is how I view the game, and I see that through what she does on the floor. That would have been that right there. Yeah, and maybe you find the likes of Amoding, Rita Imanishimwe. There's crazy competition right there. The whole bunch of 2 men. 3 men would have 3 men. That will be Zama, right?
Yeah.
4-man would probably be Akelo Hope, and Claire Lamono at 5.
Okay. So, what's your go-to move on the basketball court?
Oh, I think my go-to move is according to what defense has given me, right? But I really like the crossover between the leg and the in and out. Yeah, that would be all day, any day, if I had chance to get there, in and out. Yeah.
In and out and basic crossover. Who's the strongest opponent, both offensively and defensively?
My strongest opponent defensive would probably be a teammate of mine I had in UCU, Evalina Diambo. She was Kenyan, a point guard. I don't know if you remember that one. She's crazy. I hated her around me. She made me hate everything, to the point that when we were in the league, I was breathing. Every time we were on court in the league game, I felt like pukes. Eva is my teammate.
Yeah.
But back at home at practice, she was crazy. That has been my hardest defender. And offensively, I'd give someone who has been very dynamic in her prime. That will be Morena Moding still. In her prime. Mamo, in your prime.
Okay, then you don't play with Rena Duhaga after another successful spell in JKM. What inspired you to join Duhaga?
Rena Duhaga.
Yeah.
Reno Duhaga.
I know Rena, I don't know.
What inspired me to join is, first of all, my contract with JKL was done. I was a free agent. That was a very big factor. Secondly, I looked at most of the teams in the league. I was like, where am I going to add value? And that was definitely it.
Yeah.
That team. That was basically it.
So if the league was to go on as planned this year, what would be your goal as a player and as a team?
Well, my goal this year was to make sure I affect the game differently from the past 2 seasons. Felt like I was static. I'm not growing in any way.
Yeah.
And this was the year to sort of like go back to the books of where I started playing. And I feel that my goals were to be just to affect the game differently.
Yeah.
That was it. I just wanted to affect the game differently this season, and my purpose was to make sure if I scoop something on the way, well and good. Yeah, but that was the whole aim.
Then, as a team, as a new team in the league, what was your goal?
The championship. Dude, you saw us in UCU Open. We were on fire.
So it's just the championship.
It was the championship. There was no second guess about it.
Okay.
And I feel like my goal to do anything has always been to win. When I don't get my way, it annoys me. But with duhaga, I was sure of a win than joining any other team in the NBL, because the Dolphins still exist and they're here to
Stay.
not to stay, but they're still here. Let us use those words.
So, where do you see yourself between the next 2 to 5 years?
Okay, 2 to 5 years, I see myself as a coach in the sense of basketball, like going bigger. I have some dreams to get involved in organizations and put everything that I have been putting, because basketball teaches more than just the sport. We have values that are passed on as we play. Fair play, respect for one another, joy of effort, pursuit of excellency. And because it's an Olympic sport, all these things fall in place, right? So I just want to be able to, in 5 years from now, I just want to be able to still be in the game, but affect the game as a female coach, I would say. Like we have Mavita Ali right now, and then we have a few others which you probably don't know, but we have a list of coaches who are doing their grassroots kind of work, so that they're able to come out there and start doing some of this work. So I feel like I'll be there 5 years from now, not playing basketball, but coaching basketball.
Okay. So, we are living in the corona time. So, people do not believe corona is real. I just wanted to look at the camera and advise the public.
Coronavirus. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands, keep your masks on, and above all, keep that distance. It's very important. Many people will deceive you that I don't have coronavirus, but guess what? You might be shocked. Anyway, keep a safe distance, wash your hands, use that sanitizer, use that soap, and make sure to always walk with your face mask.
Okay.
Thank you very
So,
much.
lastly, I want you to look at the camera once again and inspire the young people outside there who would love to play basketball, become coaches in future, just like you.
Oh, my advice is to put in the work. Um, do not disguise any experience. Right now, you might be playing the game, tomorrow you might not be playing, but everything leads to something. Keep working, keep focused, and if your goal is to be a coach, if your goal is to be an excellent, a superstar, championship player, it all goes back to the work ethic you have. Organize yourself, get a good work ethic, and most importantly, stay disciplined and stay focused on the goal, because when you make plans, you have to let a few things fall off the road. So stay disciplined to whatever you commit yourself to do. That's what I have.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Peace Nakirijja, aka Little. aka Little Peace, aka Little, I don't know what to say. So, thank you so much for being with us here.
You're welcome.
I hope next time we shall invite you on our invite. Will you?
Big time.
Okay, okay. That has been. Please, thank you so much for being with us. Before you log out, please subscribe to Deep End. I will see you on Sunday. Have a good night.